Hey everyone, and welcome to this coaching video, this express coaching video. As you guys know, every month we release one. So this month is a really exciting topic because it's a topic that's actually is the one main reason that's helped my business grow rapidly the past few years. So, and we're gonna, I want you to, when you watch this, to be open-minded. Don't say to me, Rochelle, no, I just started. What are you talking about? This doesn't suit me. So just keep an open mind about it, because I was in your position and I know how you're feeling, what questions arise and things like that. So I'm going to simplify it for you and show you how easy it is to do. So the topic obviously is how to easily hire even when you're at the beginning stages of your photography business, because I think every business, especially if you're starting to see a lot of inquiries, it's a good time to start thinking about hiring. Even, I'm not saying hiring a full-time employee, even someone for a few hours a month, then a week, and then slowly increase to that. We'll talk more about it. So this is what we're going to cover in this express coaching video. First one is the beliefs we have around hiring, because I know limiting beliefs can actually stop you in anything you do, especially when you want to bring someone else into your business, or delegate some tasks in your business. That's also considered obviously as hiring. The second thing we're going to cover is signs that it's time to hire. So I'm going to show you some signs that it's actually time for you to actually hire someone or delegate your task, which is, like I said, is another form of hiring. The third thing, we're going to figure out what you dislike doing in your business, because that will actually push you to start thinking about hiring and then eventually hire. The fourth thing is ideas to help you budget for it and where to start. And the last thing, benefits of hiring. So how you can benefit from hiring. So let's get started with the first one. Beliefs we have around hiring. Now, as I said earlier, beliefs are because you're just starting out, you can just barely pay yourself, how you're going to pay someone else. Beliefs that no one can do it as better as you got to do it all, especially when it comes to things like hiring an editor. That if you hire someone to get on the phone with clients, they're not going to know your business like you do. You're going to feel like a cheater towards your clients because you're not the face of the business anymore. Someone else is doing your inquiries and your calls. So all these sort of beliefs, I bet you that at least one has popped up in your head any time you thought about hiring someone. So these are just beliefs. Now, if you understand them as just beliefs, put them in like a sack or something and put them to the side. These are beliefs. Now, how about every time you get a belief, you turn that around and say, okay, but what if I do hire someone to respond to my loads of emails I get a week? What will happen? How can I help that person do the job that I'm doing, or maybe even better? Because another thing that I found, that once I started to realize that belief was just limiting me, that's when it became more easier to push them to the side. So you got to start somewhere. So if you have like fear about and a belief about something, the only way to get over it is to do it. To actually take that first step, because that is the most scariest step. But trust me, when you take that first step and you start off with something really small, like a virtual assistant for admin tasks, maybe 3 hours a week, because you're still not getting enough inquiries, just to get a hang of it, and just to maybe when she takes that load off you, you can go and actually think of better ways to market, so you can work on your business rather than be in the trenches in your business. So understanding and noticing these beliefs that come up all the time is actually the first step for you to overcome them and to actually release them and start hiring, so you can free up your time. I mean, you went into the business so you don't go back to your 9 to 5, and so you can make the money you want. And also, making money doesn't mean you have to hustle, work your butt off. It actually means you can sit and make money without having to do half the tasks in your business. For instance, and I've probably said this a million times, I just photograph my clients, and maybe one day the next step probably would be is to hire another shooter for my studio to do that. But until then, I'm happy doing what I'm doing now. My admin is taken care of. I've just hired a social media manager to look after my blog and everything else at the Photographer Society. May does my social media and my studio admin work, and she's my client service assistant for my actual studio. Jess takes care of you guys here in the membership, takes care of the back end stuff, scheduling, blogs, everything. All I do is literally, and I have an editor as well, I forgot to mention, she saves my life. She edits all my images, loads them for me, May takes them, uploads them for clients, sends them off, whatever. All I do is go in, set up, photograph my clients, upload my images, and that's it. That's all I do, because I want to have more days off. I want to not worry about clients, and I want to earn money and not worry about clients, and that's okay. You don't. The one belief I think that we all start to have is we feel like we're cheating our clients, and we're not. I mean, think about I was going to say SEO, a CEO of a company. For instance, I don't know, any company that comes into your head, and it's the CEO of that company. Are they sitting down, writing emails, responding to their customers, doing their customer service, refunds, exchange, whatever type of business it may be for that CEO? They're not doing all that. They have employees that do that for them. They are actually, yes, they do work. I mean, work will never stop. You do work, but you'll be working on improving and scaling your business rather than being in the trenches of all the logistics. The logistics, your staff take care of it, and you are the brains around your business of how you can make more money, how you actually can grow your business. So when you start thinking of it like that, you're going to want to hire right away. So hopefully that pushed you a little bit. So this is just for some of the beliefs and what you can do about them. The second thing I want to actually, this is going to encourage you to actually think about, maybe I can hire, or maybe I'll look into it. I mean, if you tell me you look into it, that's a start, and I congratulate you on that. So just signs that, it is time to now hire someone. First major sign is that you're doing everything and it's too much to handle anymore, that you're working day and night. That's the first big major sign that I had. I actually went through a bit of a health scare, not with anything like, it's serious, but not major serious. I started fainting a lot randomly. That's when I was growing my business. And I had my son, he was about he was about 4 or 5 years old at the time or less, and I just would faint randomly, and I knew I was taking too much on. The clients, the emails, the messages, the load of inquiries, editing, late nights. My doctor said to me, look, if you're going to keep this up, something's got to give, and that was my health. And I didn't want that, because I don't want to be dead and someone else raise my children just for, running a business and earning an income. That wasn't worth it. So I went and I remember my first VA, and then she was with me for about 1.5 years, then my second, and then my third, who is May, and she takes care of everything. Then with my blog, because I was running the Photographer Society and my studio, then I hired Jess about 1 year ago, and just the other day I hired a social media manager to take care of everything we need around the business as well. And so slowly I started to hire. And about 9 months ago, I had another scare, and this time was for my eyes. You can guess why, because I was editing a lot. And then I remember the optometrist told me to go to a specialist. When he was scanning my eyes, he actually saw something apart from what I was going to see him for. And he said to me, I don't even know what it's called, but he said to me, that's really dangerous. What do you do for a job? And I told him, he's like, look, you got to cut out screen time, especially, staring in front of a screen, which I do when editing. I'm not on my phone all the time. I have limited hours per day, but for obviously as an editor as well, you sit there in front of the screen. So, and he said to me, that could be dangerous. It could be like cancerous. So cut that out. I remember walking out of his clinic and I was crying, and my husband said to me, what's the matter? I didn't even answer him. I messaged the editor that I told her, nah, look, I'll get back to you. And I really wanted to get her to edit my images, but I said, no, I'll get back to you at the time because I was scared to let go of the editing. And I knew, you know, we could work together. She had the flow that I wanted. So I sat there before I answered him and I messaged her and I said to her, look, I'm happy to go ahead. Let's do this. I want you to take over my editing. That was it. So you don't need to wait for major health scare signs to actually hire someone. If you're starting off, like I know one of the members in here has told me, look, I can't do photography anymore. I hate editing. I don't have the time. I said to her, you don't need to do editing. There is so much photographers that do editing part-time that can do it for you, that you can hire. There's photographers I know that have stopped photographing now, just editors. So if you put the word out there, you will find what you want. Like they say, what's that saying? The teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. So if you put it out to the universe that you're ready to hire for that particular thing that you need, then it will just appear, it will somehow flow to you. So signs that it's time to hire is when you're overworking yourself, when you don't have time to actually breathe, or when you're constantly thinking about work during times when you should be spending it with your family. And another major sign is you're getting a lot of bookings, at least 3 bookings or maybe 2 a week. That's when I started to hire. Now I'm getting more. Another sign is when, you know, you're getting a lot of inquiries as well, or when you find that your workload is increasing. So these are all signs that it's time to hire. And please, I would actually sit there and think about it and list what you're currently doing and just see what, you know, what you can actually delegate. You don't really have to do in the first place. All right. This brings us to what you don't like to do. Now, come on, we all have something that we don't like to do. I honestly hated calling clients because of the rejection. That feeling just made me feel like crap. I hated responding to constant texts because one client has a million questions before they book. So I hated that. I delegated that to May once she understood the business. Then obviously late night editing, having the time for editing didn't really suit me anymore, so I delegated that. My blog posting and the videos, I delegated that to Jess. I used to record just up until the end of 2019. I used to record my own video blogs for the Photographer Society, which you guys already watch. Then I started stopping doing that. So my videographer who's local comes in and we record them together. She takes them on the SD card and edits them for me. So I don't do any of that. I used to edit them, record them on my phone and my camera. Don't do any of that anymore. So like I said, I literally come in, shoot, and that's it. So things that you don't like to do, what are they? Grab a pen and paper, list them down. Then next to each one, I want you to put an arrow and write down who can do it for you, or how can you find someone to do it for you. Man, if it's your brother or sister or friend or whoever that can help you to start off with, hire it, you know, give it to them to do, pay them something, just so you get the feeling of how it feels like to hire someone. So list, first of all, what you don't like to do. Do not filter it, do not edit it, just list down. Look, if it's editing deep down, you don't like it, list it. If it's admin work, if it's, you know, it could be anything, just list it, because that's the only way you're going to realize, okay, look, I've got a list, so what am I going to do about it? All right, now that you've listed your stuff and you're getting over the belief of hiring, these are some ideas to budget for it. Now, because I know the one thing that pops up when I tell people to hire is I don't have the budget for it, or I'm just getting by with my packages that I'm charging. You need to budget for it. So figure out your packages and how much it costs to, say, hire an editor and what that editor charges either per hour or per image. I would highly suggest per image you hire someone from experience. So if you say have a 10, 15, 20 package image, you need to figure out your cost of doing business for the 10 images, 15 and 20. Then you need to incorporate that into your packages. So add that in. So you know every time someone purchases that package, that amount of money is going to your editor, and that's it. So how much you're going to earn at the end of the day. So these are some ideas how to budget for it. And if you feel like, look, I'm getting enough clients, I can increase it by $100 each package just to get going and hiring someone, do that now, because that's what, that's what's going to get you someone to actually help you in your business. And then you'll find, because you're quicker, turnaround times, and you've got more time to actually think about what you can do now to actually market your business more, reach a wider audience, get more bookings. You have the headspace to do so. So I highly suggest you figure out your cost of goods and incorporate whatever you're hiring for, how much it's going to cost you. If a VA is going to cost you $100 a week, let's just say for a few days, then put that in there and budget that in there. If you still have a 9-to-5 job, maybe take some out of your paycheck and just add that to, actually use to hire someone in your part-time photography business. So there's different ways to figure out where you can get the money from and how you can increase maybe your packages, which is the best way to actually incorporate it, and then do that to actually start hiring. Okay, so where do you start when you're wanting to hire? First, you need to understand what is it that's taking up most of your time in your business. So mainly 90% of the time, it's the admin work. That's the first thing I hired for. And then I would track your times. If you really want to get specific, you can track how much hours you spend, but I'm guaranteed it's like a lot of hours. So if it's just admin, you don't have to start with someone physically with you. I specifically went by hiring a virtual assistant because I didn't want to be trapped in the studio every day with an admin. I tried to find someone that can do what I want them to do locally, that works from home, but that didn't work out. So my friend has a lot of virtual assistants, so she told me to go try that. I went through a place called Upwork and I hired my very first virtual assistant. She doesn't live in the country, and she did a fabulous job at the time. And then from there, I started hiring more virtual assistants, and now I have May as well. But you can hire a friend who is got kids at home that can work a few hours a week and give her whatever per hour. So there's many ways to do it. But if you want to actually it be affordable, virtual assistants are always affordable, only because they can work, obviously, the set hours you give them, between the time frames you give them, but also because they're virtual, they're not required to come into your studio or be present with you, which makes it less costly for you as well, which is a bonus for all. So I let May work from wherever she wants, as long as the work gets done in my hours and it gets done on time. That's the only 3 rules we have. So think about what you want to, what you do most. Let's just say admin, and then how many hours you want to start off with, and then think about, where you would want to go. So do you want to hire a local mum? Put it out in the, there's a lot of Facebook groups, mums working from home or local mums that would love to do it, maybe just for $10 or $20 an hour, depending what it is reasonable to charge in wherever you are in the world. So think about that. They would love to do that. If it's your sister or your mum at home that wants to do that, your brother, whatever, anyone. And then if that doesn't work for you, go to, websites like Upwork or freelancer.com. Or if you search virtual assistant agencies, but Upwork is the best one I would suggest. So maybe start there. Okay, so the benefits of hiring. This is what I like to talk about. Benefits, free time. So free time. This week I had Monday off, I had Tuesday off, Wednesday I had a session, today's Thursday, I have it off, and tomorrow my client rescheduled, so there's Friday off. So I only worked 1 day a week. I'm getting a lot of bookings still. It's just that us newborn photographers, babies come in floods at the same time, or they're like a month with no babies, or weeks with no babies. So, but in saying that, this is why I started my blog, the Photographer Society, and I launched this membership, is because I needed the time. So whatever you want to use your extra time for, go ahead. But that's the number one benefit of having free time. The second benefit is you only do what you love. So I got into newborn photography because I loved working with the babies and setting up these beautiful setups and photographing them and creating beautiful images for my clients. I didn't go into newborn photography to do admin work and editing and talking to clients, and now with social media and emails and messages, people can message you from so many different places. I didn't want to do that. Like I hate that. So that's the benefits for me. So think about how you can benefit from hiring. Is it time? Is it your weekends off? No more late nights because you've hired an editor. I mean, how awesome was that? What would you do at night? Sit with your kids or watch Netflix when the kids go to sleep. I mean, you can do that. You're human. Doesn't mean if you have a business we have to hustle and burn our butts off. It's not the way. That is a way to disaster and poor health. And you can count on that. So think of your benefits if you decide to hire. What are they? I want you to list them down for me. Okay, so beliefs, just to recap, we talked about the beliefs we have around hiring, signs that it's time to hire, what you don't like to do, because that's a good way to actually, push you to actually hiring or look into hiring, ideas to budget for it. So I gave you some ideas of how you can include it, where you can get the money from, and things like that, and where to start when you're wanting to hire. So like I mentioned, Upwork, freelancer.com, etc. And benefits of hiring. So I talked about the benefits as well because that's the most important thing. So I want you to go on over to the Facebook group when you watch this and let me know, let me know the beliefs you have around hiring and what you think you could benefit from if you do decide to hire. I'd love to know those two things. So make sure you go on over to our Facebook group and you write those in there for me and tag me. So that's it for our express coaching on, on hiring and the beliefs we have and how easy it is to hire if you just get over your beliefs. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help you. So jump on over to the Facebook group and ask over there. I'll catch you guys in another video. Until then, take care.